Over the past 18 months, I've grown from about 500 to over 8,000 newsletter subscribers. 90% of that has come from LinkedIn traffic. And I'm going to show you the 5 tactics that you can use to grow your email list from your LinkedIn traffic. As you can see here, I have a private video that I've created. I'll give you access to this page if you'd like it, where I'll go in a lot further depth. I'm going to share the high-level tactic with you in this. So just thinking through what a social content funnel usually looks like. If somebody's posting content to generate leads, usually you have the social content component. So you're actually making posts on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever it may be. And then you have a social selling component, which is sending connection requests, sending DMs, sending lead magnets to people, that kind of thing. And then third, you have newsletter conversion. And so you get people on your email list and you convert them over time. That's both, you can get some short-term conversion and some long-term nurture. And so you need all 3 of those pillars to really succeed with social. But you might be wondering, how do I get more people onto that newsletter and leverage this social content and social selling to do that? And so that is what this lead magnet is for, which again, I'll share with you. And I'll explain it to you in this video. So with my friend Daniel Bustamante, we put this together. This was transparently a bonus resource for a paid course that we did last year, but we found it really helpful, which is why I'm sharing it here with you. High level, you don't have to just take my word for it. This is a screenshot. So you can see this was as of April of 2025. When I started growing my list, it was sitting at about 500 subscribers. And you could see the big bumps every time I would do a specific tactic I'll walk you through, but then also just a steady up and to the right. This was a screenshot I just took a couple minutes ago showing you that I actually have 8,000 subscribers in Kit, the ESP that I use. This was a picture of Daniel's email growth. You can see this was when he was at 8,000 subscribers. He actually is now sitting around 12,500. And so the 5 tactics to grow your email list from LinkedIn are as follows. Tactic number 1, put CTAs in posts. Tactic 2, use your featured section. Tactic 3, custom profile button. Tactic 4, welcome DMs. Tactic 5, viral giveaways. And then I actually have a little bonus for you at the end. So going over each of these in turn. So first is CTAs and posts. And so if I go to, well, I guess first there's really 2 options. The first is you put a link directly in the post. So you write your post and then at the bottom you say, P.S. you want to get XYZ resource. You could link to lead magnet, or do you want to join my newsletter? And you just drop the link directly in the post. That's one way to do it. The other way is to say, check the link in the comments. And then you have a comment and you put the link there. The reason why people do that second one is because they fear that their main post will get less reach if they put a link directly in the post. And so just to show you what that looks like, here's a picture of one of Daniel Fazio's posts. And you can see at the bottom, he says, if you want to learn how we spend $6,000 a day on ads and profitably acquire 120 clients per month, join Olympia. And then he has a link right here, just directly in the post. A link in the comments might look like this. Check out the Product Career Accelerator here. This is right below the post, and you can see he links to it there. So you can see right here, I mentioned an OCD caveat, which is if you're commenting on your own LinkedIn post, that's totally fine, but don't be the first person to comment. Wait for like 15 minutes until someone else comments. Might just be a superstition, but I have heard that tanks your reach. Anyway, what do I recommend between these 2? I actually recommend option 1, including a link directly in your posts. There's been now a decent amount of data to show that your reach is not impacted or hardly impacted when you include links in your posts. And so highly recommend just dropping the link directly in your post. If you want to dig a little deeper on that, look at Daniel, what's his name? He's the British guy. Not Radcliffe. Daniel Priestley. There we go. Daniel Priestley, he calls it the everyday CTA. If you just type in Daniel Priestley everyday CTA into YouTube, he'll walk you through, but he does it every day. And it doesn't even have to be related. He'll like post about something and he'll say, by the way, I'm running this webinar next Friday. Would love to have you join. Here's a link to register. and does it every day, and it works great. And so this is a great tactic, and one that, in my opinion, you could use multiple times per week, could use it every day even. Okay, tactic number 2, your featured section. So a couple things with the featured section. First is you need to have one. Second is you can choose to have one or multiple featured posts, featured links. And you got to choose what you want to optimize for. So something that I optimize for is calls, booked calls. And so I have my booked call link, and then I have a lead magnet next to it. And I actually include 2 different lead magnets just to, if it piques people's interest, like one lead magnet might pique some people's interest, another one might pique someone else's interest. And so that's how I have mine set up. This is an image of Daniel's, and you can see here, he literally just has one lead magnet, and that's it. And it lets people sign up. Pro tip, if you see here, there's no text below this headline and subheadline, and that's on purpose. You can include text, they call it a description, but the issue is, if you have text down here, when you click on this featured post, it pops it open. It's like a pop-up. Instead of taking you directly to the site, it's a pop-up that then has a tiny little button you have to click to take you through to the site. And so don't include any text in the description. That's a fatal mistake people make. All good here? This is, by the way, just for people who come and visit your profile. You'll get some people who click and sign up through here. Tactic number 3, the custom profile button. So I would say this is a big one. Like, so far, if we had to rank order the value, I'd say tactic number 1 is number 1, and then tactic number 3 is number 2, followed by the featured section, okay? So the custom profile button is this button, where you see how it says visit my website? LinkedIn has certain copy that they basically pre-build for you. So one is view my newsletter, another is visit my website, another is book an appointment. But basically, this will show up on every single post that you have. So I'm going to show you an example. I'm opening up my LinkedIn. While it's opening, we'll see if you come. Do you see how it says, oh, this just posted? Do you see how it says book an appointment on all of my posts? So that means if somebody's scrolling on the feed, that they will just see this book an appointment button wherever they see my post. And so a lot of people, they're going to go the lowest friction route to checking your stuff out. And so they're not going to click on my profile and then click on the link in my profile or the featured section nearly as much as they're just going to click book an appointment directly. And so you're going to get, like, if you actually set up different, if you wanted to track this, set up a bit.ly link for this book an appointment custom button, and then set up a different link for your featured section, and wait for a month and track how many clicks you get for each. You're going to be shocked to realize that you get something like 90% of the clicks will come through this button, or of the clicks that aren't directly on the posts, 90% will come from this and 10% will come from the featured section. So very underrated use case. All right, tactic number 4, a welcome DM. So this is a little bit more gritty. If you have a virtual assistant, this is a great thing, a great task for them to handle. But if you're just trying to grow your email list from scratch, this is also worth doing. So you can see here, somebody sent me a connection request. So I said, hey, name, thanks for dropping me a connection request. I'm not sure if you've seen much of my content, but I post daily marketing tips. So I give them an idea of what to expect from me. By the way, in case you're interested, I'll link to a few of my most popular posts you can check out. Then I link to 3 posts. Hope to stay connected. How does this build my email list, you might ask? Well, this isn't a perfect example. What I'd really do is I switch out these LinkedIn posts for lead magnets. And so every one of these is a link to a landing page where they can get a really valuable resource, but they have to enter their email to get it. And so that's what it looks like. A lot of people have this same response. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing your posts, or really appreciate this, whatever, because you're giving away free value and you're also building your email list. So new followers come in, you get them on your email list. Because they're a new follower, they've already said yes to something. It's much more likely that they're going to convert into email subscribers. So, yep, absolutely worth doing. Okay, tactic number 5, viral giveaways. So this is huge. This has probably driven 70% of my email list growth, and I could say the same for Daniel. So this is what it looks like. Step 1, you got to write a banger hook. So this is a banger hook. I've paid Nicholas Cole $30,000 plus. That's eye-catching. It's a lot of money. Yeah, like it's interesting. And then I say, here's the truth. So what does this do? It creates a ton of curiosity. You're curious if I'm going to say he's a scammer, or if I'm going to say it was worth every penny, or like, what am I going to say? I'm gonna say something, and you don't know what it is until you click the ... more button. This is what you call a curiosity gap. And so you make people curious enough that they click on the post. This image, so media, is just as important as the hook. It's really a part of the hook. But you can see I have literal proof that I've been paying this person money. $2,000, etc. So I just took a screenshot. I looked up the name of their company, and I took a screenshot of the payments that I was making. Okay. Now you can see this got 120,000 impressions, 2,200 comments, and the reason why is exactly what I just showed you. The hook was really good and the image was really good. So what do we do from here? All of these people, I send them a DM, and I have my virtual assistant who tries to keep up with it. If after like a day or two people are still commenting, we won't go and DM everyone. We'll just send them a reply with the link to this landing page. But the DM sends people to this landing page, and the comments after day 2 that we're doing instead of the DM also sends people to this landing page. You can get access here. Small pro tip, by the way. If in your DM you say, can you do me a quick favor and let me know if the link works okay, or if you're able to access this okay, you'll get about twice as many clicks to the landing page. So just so you know, twice as many clicks. That's literally a double if you add that. Step 2, so you just create a very simple landing page, get access to the lessons I paid $30K to learn from Nicholas Cole. You've done most of the selling in the actual post itself, but you just want it to be very aligned. And then they enter their email, they click get access. You could see that I got 787 visitors, 83.6% actually subscribed. That's a really good opt-in rate. So 658 total. And I also send them an email that confirms and sends them the link. So once they enter their email, they're automatically redirected to the lead magnet. But I also have an email that sends them a link to the lead magnet in case they accidentally signed off or whatever. So that is a viral giveaway. I started doing these in late 2024 and continue to do them today because they've been incredibly effective. All right, now the bonus that I promised you. So these are 2 steps. So the first thing you do is a regular value post. So think of it like your everyday LinkedIn post. And then you have a small CTA at the bottom, but instead of including a link, you do something a little bit different. So think of it like these, basically you do a post like this, but instead of saying join Olympia with a link, you promise some type of incentive if they will comment. What this does is LinkedIn's not optimizing for link clicks. You'll get link clicks if you include a link, but if you instead optimize for comments, LinkedIn will share that with more people, which means you'll go more viral, which means more people will see your post, which means you'll get more leads, more views, and more email subscribers. So what you do is you do a value post, and then you share a CTA at the bottom that looks like this. So I say, and that's it. P.S. While I was doing my research, I put together a more comprehensive list of the upgrades. So I did a breakdown of this person's LinkedIn account, including image examples. Comment notes if you want me to send that over. This ended up getting, like 100 I think it was like 200 comments and like 14,000 impressions or so. Anybody who comments, I send them to this landing page. Very simple. Just has a headline. Doesn't even have a sub-headline. And you can see here, 91 people visited the site, 59 subscribed at a 65% rate. And so that was just a random, I wasn't trying to create some massive lead magnet to do a viral giveaway. It was just like, I already did the work of creating this LinkedIn post and breaking the person down. I just added a little extra notes and context in a separate page, comment, whatever, and I'll send it to you. And this is something that, like, transparently, I do this multiple times a week now, and it consistently drives email subscribers for me. Sometimes, by the way, a two-step will randomly outperform a viral giveaway, a dedicated lead magnet drop, by a long shot. Like, and those have surprised me, but some of these will get thousands of comments, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 comments. So you never know if one of these is really going to take off. But in general, these will get something like 50 or 70 comments from me, and I'll get like 20 email subscribers when I do these. And so mixing up the CTAs between doing the direct link and the two-step is something that I would recommend testing and just seeing how those perform for you. Doing dedicated viral giveaway drops is a big LinkedIn growth driver, email list growth driver, and lead generation growth driver. So highly recommend. Hopefully this was helpful so you can continue to grow your email list from LinkedIn. And by the way, I will say I've seen people talk about the value of their email list by the platform that they come from. One person in particular that comes to mind is Matt McGarry, and he says that every person that comes from LinkedIn for him is worth $40-something versus every person who comes from Meta is something like $12. So the value of organic subscribers on LinkedIn is very high. I know a lot of people who've built their entire businesses using LinkedIn as a traffic source, their newsletter as a conversion mechanism, and that's it. And so absolutely something worth focusing on and thinking about. Hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you liked it. Cheers.